He trips me up every time he does that.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is Christian Rose, Old Evil, That Damn Coyote, Moonshine, Illinois' favorite son, The Truth, The Bitter Lunatic, a man with so many nicknames even I can't remember them all, proudly representing those damn coyotes, King in the Valley, and you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. What it is. What's going on, everybody? Episode number 146 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Come on in. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Sit down. Let's talk, because we all need to answer the question, and it's time. Yeet or not to yeet? That is the questions on everybody's mind, lips, and tongue today. As some people on the podcast went to the show, some people went and watched the show, but we're all here ready to talk about it. But let's first of all introduce you to the panel of Marks. We got Primo. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, brother? How's the leg? Everything good? You healing up?
Yeah, man, we're good. The leg is good. We got a new color this week. We're all right. No, I'm good. I enjoyed the Rumble from about 10 feet away from where I'm sitting right now. I didn't have to roll very far. So, yeah, and here we are.
Wait, do you mean like in a
back,
wheelchair,
brother?
or did you like physically like Ralph Wiggum like roll? because I
I'm a
believe
ninja.
either right now.
I have a knee scooter.
Oh,
And I
you
also
scooter.
have regular crutches, and I also have forearm crutches. If you want to picture me as like one of those pterodactyl things.
And the other two marks, AJ and Dylan, I've seen you guys over the weekend at the Rumble. So, but since then, how's life, man? Everything good?
Hi.
Hi.
Cue AJ's giggles. It's like as soon as we go live, AJ just gets the giggles and come out. He's happy to talk to us.
I am. I'm thrilled that I am, having more time, and here I am. This is what, 2 in a row?
Oh man, I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
We love it. The fans love it. More
Man,
AJ. Give us
think they
more,
love
but
it.
not like Ryback.
I don't have pink eye, by the way. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It's not pink eye.
It's okay.
It's not.
We can't catch it through the internet.
It's
so you're
an
good. We don't
Irish.
care.
It's an Irish kiss.
Your eye can
okay?
fall out. We don't care.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dylan, how you doing, brother? Did the ride home go okay from Indy?
Yeah, just a good 5 hours or whatever. Not too bad. I don't have pink eye either. I don't have a broken leg or broken foot, nothing like
Where's
that.
that
I'm doing pretty good right now.
I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook and everybody listening on Apple, Spotify, Audible, and SportsWire Radio. Thank you to all our new fans that are checking us out. And we want to welcome you to the Best Kept Secret in Wrestling podcast. So welcome new and current listeners.
Hall
Let's
of Fame
spread the good
podcast.
word of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? What's that, Primo?
Hall of Fame podcast.
We are a Hall of Fame podcast. Yes, I do forget to say that. So.
Put some respect on our name.
The Rumble is come and gone, and we were there. We had a freaking awesome time. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get to the hot start, Primo. If you're ready, man, let's kick this thing off. Topic number 1 in the world of wrestling. 5 topics right here for you. First of all, me and Dylan kind of learned this over the weekend, and I'm kind of excited about it, man. Evolve is back, and it's back in a different way. It's back not on the indie scene as us, that used to check out the indie scene when Evolve Wrestling was on there. It's going to be like a subsidiary precursor promotion to NXT. And it's going to be on a free app called Tubi that I kind of just started checking out. It's got a lot of random, if you ever watch Pluto TV, it's kind of like the same thing, a lot of random stations on it, but this is cool. This is I take it this is a place where, maybe some of the WWEID prospects are going to be showcasing some of their skills on there. So that's going to be kind of cool for them. But it's going to be kind of pre-NXT talent. So this was cool, Dylan. We were talking about this, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think we had heard about it maybe before the Rumble, but they aired that trailer during the Rumble. Yeah, I'm excited. It looks like a good spot to get all the, like you said, the ID'd prospects.
Yeah.
Get them used to the WWE system before they get thrown into NXT. And I'm excited to see what's their taping schedule look like, because it's going to be, a monthly thing or every other week type thing, or
Right.
Got to get used to a new app because that's how wrestling makes us do. But
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And AJ, you saw this too, man. You were there. So, but I mean, Lucas Oil Stadium. We'll talk about it in a second. But there was stats all over that fucking place. Like they was stats, and you were learning about stuff. And there was Fortnite stats, there was Rumble stats, there was telling you about new shows that are coming and stuff. Like it was just constant, like informative information. About what was coming. What'd you think of that?
I really appreciate it, actually. Like the ticker that was at the bottom of the or top and bottom, like for us schlubs in like the nosebleed seats,
right?
It was very helpful. Like because unless you're watching the screen, which what's the point of watching the big screen? We did, but what's the point of watching the big screen? Like it was nice having all that the little this is how long Penta's been in. Should have been 0 minutes because his feet hit. We'll get to that. But I liked it. But then at the same time, it's like, calm down. Like there's too much coming at my face.
Yeah.
Right now, all the time, and
Right.
it's like you had to pay attention if you wanted to know what was happening. And it's like I just want to, I want to joke around with my friends in between matches. I don't want to have to pay attention to 18 different screens all the time.
Right. Yeah. But it's like when the buzzer went off, it like recycled the cycle. You know what I mean? Like, restarted the cycles. Like you're back to, look and everything. So, all right. Topic number 2, Primo, I'll start with you on this one, man. WrestleMania, dude. Like, I feel like this year, like the anticipation, the buzz seems to be bigger than the last few previous years. Maybe Cena has something to do with that. Maybe Vegas, has something has something to do with that. I mean, you agree with me? Like, I kind of feel like this one's going to be a big deal this year.
I feel like every year it's a big deal, and every year we might say this, but I do agree that I think it's because of Vegas, and it also is because of Cena. It's his last WrestleMania, or it's announced as that anyway, and people are anticipating seeing him there, and we're not seeing him. And
well done.
But it's also in Vegas, and we're excited for it to be there, and see what that's going to be like. You know what I was thinking was, remember the old Raw roulette wheel? Why haven't they incorporated that yet? But I digress. Anyway, no, I agree with you though. It does seem like it's bigger, but every year it gets bigger. But this year's in specific is because of Cena and Vegas. It's two things that are notable.
Yeah. Dylan, AJ, you guys feel a little more hyped than normal?
No.
Yeah, I do, and I think it's just because the product as a whole is actually watchable now, whereas several of the last couple years, you wouldn't start to get excited until Rumble because it just wasn't worth watching. But now we're all fired up about a bunch of different stuff, or at least most of us are fired up.
You're right.
And I'm excited for Mania.
I am fired up for it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, no, but it's like I am as fired up as I normally am. I guess I'm not more fired up or less fired up. Like I'm actually no. Now that I think about it, CM Punk's going to be in it. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm more fired up. I retract everything I just said. More fired.
Right. All right. Top number 3.
Why? It was valid.
Well, unless Shinsuke's in the main event, I think you'll never really actually get like a hard on for Mania, right?
Or Finn Balor.
Or Finn. Yeah, there we go. What about
I'll get to
Finn
those guys
versus
later,
Shinsuke? You would lose your shit, wouldn't you?
I did lose my shit.
Topic number 3, Dylan, I'm going to go to you, man, for this one. How cool is it to see people like Jordan Grace, people like Penta? I mean, I know Jordan's been in TNA for a little while, but, WWE's the big leagues, right? And, we've seen a lot of these people on the indies and stuff for a while. It's kind of cool, man. Like, I feel like there's another slew of big talent that's going to get scooped up on the indies probably this year. And, I feel like there's like sort of a little movement about to happen. You feel that too, kind of?
Yeah, it's it's Dreamwave weekend. The last Dreamwave weekend, we had Jordan Grace in the women's bit as gold, and then you turn around last weekend, she's in the Royal Rumble. Like, it doesn't get a whole lot cooler than that.
Right.
There's definitely a feel, Joe Hendry being involved. There's kind of a buzz, whether it's through TNA or just people on the indies starting to make a name for themselves. It feels like we're on, the beginning point of something really big about to happen.
Whose name did you say? Joe Hendry?
Joe Hendry being in the Rumble.
Right. Yeah. I'm just kidding. He's supposed to appear, right?
No, I got it. Like
you did it? Okay, cool.
I was waiting for Primo to do something.
Honestly, I am looking for it.
It's all good. There it is. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
If you can see my screen, so cool. I really need to label these. All of my sound bites are black squares.
That's not efficient.
It's not very conducive to my environment.
All right. Topic number 4. This is for me, Dylan and AJ. Let's talk about our fan experience at Lucas Oil Stadium. Let's talk about the crowd, the bathrooms, the food. Me and Dylan have to talk about the superstore that was not a superstore, but our seats were okay, man. I mean, we were second row, upper deck. I mean, obviously this place is huge, and I was just amazed. Like I got like the same feeling I got when I walked in Mania 32 in Dallas, and I saw the ring there for the first time. Like I got that same feeling. Like it's such a monstrous place, right? You know what I mean? So I thought let's talk about the crowd first, man. Like other than say they were off and counting, most of the crowds
Oh my
are
God.
Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? I thought they were pretty good, man. We got pretty loud there for a while.
I also love that it was because the last time we went was in St. Louis, and this crowd was twice the size,
Right?
which was fantastic. Like it really added a lot to it. Plus, it also helps that there was no Ronda Rousey or Brock Lesnar. But yeah, it was fantastic. We were right by a bathroom,
right?
Which is helpful,
right? That's always great, especially for me.
I don't know. Like I didn't get a chance to get any like T-shirts or anything, which kind of disappointed me. I tried one time. I think it was before the tag team championship match started, and there was literally 1,000 people standing in line for T-shirts, and it's like I'm not going to walk a half a mile to go to one of the other merch stores, so I just gave up and was like, whatever.
Yeah. Dylan, what do you think about the crowd, man? Good wrestling crowd, you think, other than being off and timing on the 3-2-1s?
Yeah, everybody's countdown from 10 lasts about 5 seconds instead of 10, but
right.
You're excited. It's the Rumble. Blown away with the size of the crowd, like you were talking, the size of the venue, just a massive place. Loved our seats, like you said, even though we were upper deck nosebleeds, we still had a good view of the ring, good view of the scoreboard. Man, being that close to your restroom and concession stand was clutch.
That was dope.
Could get our stuff taken care of and be back to our seats by the time half the people are just now getting out of their seats.
Right.
You kind of mentioned the Superstore.
Let's
that
talk
was an
about
experience.
So me and Dylan went early because we wanted to spend some time in there. I was going to drop a couple $100, maybe 500. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like I was going to get some shit for my kids, all that kind of stuff, man. And so we walk in and we're going to kayfabe, but we walk in, right? So we get in line, and this line is snaked all the way through this convention center, and I'm thinking it's a line that's, they're waiting for an autograph, and they're like, no, this is the line to get in. I'm like, this what?
Yeah,
I look at Dylan, I'm like, oh
easily.
my God. So, I pulled a little tactic, and so we got in line, and then we walked. And I mean, the line moved pretty good, man, but you walked and you walked and you walked. And then when you finally got inside the store, you're like, oh, heck yeah, man. We're about to finally get in here. Nope. As soon as you get in there, you got some more walking to do, man. It was like you're getting on a roller coaster at a theme park, but it was definitely like, but it moved. The cool thing about it to me and Dylan was they had old pay-per-view banners hanging up, and so you kind of look and, nostalgia as you walk through. But when we finally got up to the front, I mean, granted, the store had been open since Thursday it was, Dylan, I think.
I believe so.
It was picked over, man. There wasn't hardly nothing left. Nothing to fit my kids, nothing to fit me. And then I think Dylan, the stuff that fit him was like awful, So I just wanted a shirt with a logo on it. I ended up ordering one on the shop, but and everything had a lot of Indiana stuff on it, or Indianapolis Colts blue stuff on it. The Cena stuff was, all basically gone, except for some stuff. But yeah. So I was super disappointed by that, but.
I watched a vlog of that, what you were talking about just now, the line.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, I'm going to time this from the time you go to enter, or from the time you get in the line to the next line, it's a snake. He said it was like 25 minutes to even get in the building.
Oh, nice.
I bet.
At least it wasn't too cold outside.
I think he got longer after we'd already gotten in it. So,
Oh, speaking of like the fandom and stuff, I have two things that I want to mention.
Sure.
One, I saw a fight in the security line. Cool. That's always fun. Two, Dylan and I learned every single thing there is to know about the history of every wrestler, wrestling promotion, wrestling move, the theme song, entrance, gear, everything. So, and sir, if you're listening, it's unlikely, but if you're listening, I'm very sorry, but shut the fuck up. Oh my God, this guy was sitting next to me because you guys put me in the middle of the row. Thank you. And this guy, I think he was there with, I want to say like a date or something, who clearly did not give a shit about anything. So
I thought dates make you shit, though.
Anytime anything happened or didn't happen, as the case may be, this guy talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. And Dorian DB couldn't hear him because, again, he was right next to me. And then I made Dylan learn everything that I learned too.
I could hear most
my
of
God.
it. Yeah.
Should have pushed him over. We were sitting on the ledge.
Yeah.
Should have Irish whipped him. That is all you needed to do.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the gentleman, but
they walked in front of us enough times. We could have just.
Oh yeah.
I
know who you're talking about. Yeah. And people kept stopping, taking pictures in front of us, and
the America guy followed me around like 4 times for some reason. So weird.
Section 617 was pretty dope. We seen Chris Moore from Dreamwave. He was the next section over from us, so that was cool too. But otherwise, the crowd, bathrooms, food, the hot dog was terrible. I tasted it like 2 days later, so but whatever.
I'm glad I said no to that one. By the way.
Yeah. But total, super convenience. I can't recommend 617. If I can't get lower level anymore, I'm going to that section because right to the right is the bathroom, to the left is concessions. Man.
I did have a question about that because obviously I was section 0, floor 0, seat 1 over here. And no, but when I noticed for instance, when AJ Styles came out and he did his thing, and that there was that line of pyro that went like shh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, were y'all eye level with that, or was that like?
It was probably actually lower than us.
A little lower than us.
Yeah, it was pretty lower than us.
And also another thing I wanted to ask was, I didn't notice until like the very end of the show. I didn't think about it. The fact that it's a football stadium and it's all stadium seating.
Yeah.
So that's not comfortable at all.
I mean, I was okay if Professor Wrestling didn't take up half my seat sitting next to me, because he was a larger man. I am a smaller individual, and he was definitely. But I was okay. Like,
he's keeping.
I don't need a lot of space.
Yeah, the seat itself was fine. My only issue, if you want to call it that, was where the glass was in front of us. You had to kind of look around the edge of it. I don't know what you call it.
Sure. The like
had to move around.
Yes,
or when the concession drink guy was in front of us, DB just shoot him.
Yeah, well, I give him time to make his transaction and then move. But if you sitting there excessively time, dude, I'm paying money for my seats, so so I just kind of tapped on the shoulder and just asked him to slide over a little bit. He was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry.
You were like
6'4".
Yeah.
It must have been in your way.
Yeah.
That's
but
so funny. I laughed.
Yeah, man. If the buzzer went off and Cena came out and that dude had been in my way, oh man, I might have pushed him.
Well, he would have gotten punched by you if he was
if he was there when Charlotte won, the guy would no longer be there. Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll talk about my Charlotte pop. I went I jumped like a 5-year-old. But anyway, all right. So hot start. Topic number 5. We'll go home on this, Primo. So, as you were seeing at the Royal Rumble, I think it mostly had just celebrities and old wrestlers. But, now they're starting to, have wrestlers, that are actually on the program sitting ringside at these shows and in the crowd. Like, you think that helps or does any good?
I mentioned it on the last pod. I think it's annoying as fuck. Right. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
they're in the show.
I want to bring that back up. Yeah, like just do like they did at Royal Rumble, right? Like show RVD, show Kurt Angle.
Yeah, show legends. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
But active people on the roster, I don't care. I don't care. Give that seat to somebody else.
Like, why are you showing B-Fab sitting there before the
I understand Lyra Valkyria just won the title. Okay. She needs to be backstage watching the monitor with the girls and boys back there.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care. That's the thing. As a fan, I just don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Like, you're taking up 10 seconds of my life I'm never going to get back because you just told me that somebody that should be there is there.
Yeah. I was just seeing if y'all see something that I didn't with what they were doing with that. Like, I'm like, all right, well, they're going to, be involved in a segment later. No, they just showed them sitting ringside. So, yeah.
Especially with the champions. Lyra Valkyria this week, a couple of weeks ago, it was the War Raiders. It's like, your champions are just sitting in the crowd with everybody else. Like, really? They're not on the show, not backstage. They're just out here chilling. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't get it.
What if they had to pay for their seats? Like they weren't comped. Like they had to
They're
pay
like, nah,
for those.
kid. That $1,000 seat, go pay for that.
RVD had to work a few indie dates to get his seat. They're like, oh shit, there's RVD.
All right, boys, that's going to do it for the Hop Start, man. It's time to get to the Dropkick discussion of the week. We know what that's going to be, but first, let's hear a word from Billy Starks.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast with Primo, DB, and AJ.
Every time.
All right, so we've you've heard us talk about going to the Rumble, but we also went with one of our good friends, Tori, from episode number 126.
Hi, this is Tori from Top Rope Baking, and I am here with my friends, the Sit Down Marks.
Don't you make fun of our friend. You know she's going to get you.
Hi! So I'm surprised she's not.
No, we had a great time
right now.
Yeah, we had a great time with Tori this weekend at the Rumbles, and I got to hear her make 30 sounds. So that was fun.
I'm not gonna lie, it made me laugh every time. I don't know why, because it's just the way she was doing it. She's like,
yeah,
every time made me laugh.
Yeah, it was funny, man. It's funny. All right, boys. So, yeet or not to yeet? It's time to talk about what we're going to talk about, boys. The Royal Rumble. Let's get into it, boys. But first, let me hit you guys with some stats here, a little by the numbers, if you will. So, 2025 Royal Rumble, Indianapolis, Indiana, Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts, of course. This was the 38th annual Royal Rumble. Michael Cole said 70,347 fans. They said fans from all 50 states, 48 countries. This was the first Rumble not to ever take place in January.
Oh, yeah.
Live on Netflix outside of the USA, Peacock inside of the USA. First Rumble in an NFL stadium. I didn't know that either. Thought that was kind of cool. Largest gate for a single night event. Not behind only WrestleMania 40, night 1 and 2, which was the two biggest two ever. But they said highest grossing Royal Rumble event in history. But that includes merch. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. So that,
okay.
Yeah, it's a ton of that. So obviously, Superstore does well. Place is sold out. So, but beautiful stadium, really cool setup. No big stage on this one. You can get more seats in that way too. When you don't have a big, huge stage. We got the long running entranceway again. You guys like those or no? Like I'm starting to get used to them now.
No.
Especially live. It was weird live.
I would like. Sorry, AJ.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I would like a good mid-range in between. Not so much John Cena's return, but not so much what we just had, where Shinsuke coming out was trying to dance a fine line between looking cool but also getting to the ring quickly.
Right.
Which happened a lot. And Dylan kept going, save your cardio.
Yeah.
They would jog, do that little jobber jog that Jake the Snake Roberts used to do. And it's like, stop. You're gonna gas yourself already. Except for Braun Breaker. He could sprint to the ring.
Right, yeah. Speaking of Braun, him spearing ISO Speed or whatever his name is, that was viewed 300 million times in 24 hours.
Several of those by me.
At least half a dozen by me.
Yeah. The show set a record for sponsors. They had 14 sponsors for this Rumble. So there's all the stats, there's all the numbers. Let's talk about the show. But first of all, let's talk about, obviously everybody knows by now the winners did. None of us got any of those right. None of us got it correct. None of us picked Jay, right?
No, not Jay.
God,
on the men's side.
No, I knew somebody gets Charlotte, but
I did pick Charlotte.
I was thinking men's, yeah. The overall show I thought was super cool to be at. The opener was really great. First things he kind of talked about at the show, you couldn't really hear the entrance music very well. You can hear like when it first hit, and then it was like it went down low or something, and like it wasn't like being drowned out by fans yelling and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little weird. Like it was definitely the quietest.
It's pretty
show
clear on
I've
TV.
ever been to as far as like hearing like the interest music.
Well, it didn't help either that half the music is so generic that no one even knew.
Yeah.
Like, and I was going to rant about this later, but Finn Balor, one of my favorites, by the way, when his music hit, which by the way is the most generic, like late '90s hard rock song I've ever heard in my life. I had no idea until the FXXX popped up.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, it's I would have popped huge if I knew who the fuck was coming out.
That was
right
my
now.
problem with about 75% of the women.
Yeah. Everything is so generic. Like, when did that happen?
The stats on the bottom line we talked about was super awesome. They always kept you up to date.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very cool
that
touch.
was a great, great touch, and keep that up.
Yeah, like I said, you caught yourself reading those, and this person's eliminated this many people, and this many people.
Yeah, left, and like Alexa hadn't been there since January 2023. Right. Like stuff like that was cool.
Yeah.
I like that stuff a lot better when I watched it back on TV.
Yeah.
In the arena, there was just so much going on that you couldn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But when I watched it back on Peacock, I loved it. Like you were saying, the Alexa stuff, all the different random stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's
like they're
nice
nice facts.
Yeah,
right.
It's a great addition. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. All right, some notes from the women's rumble who kicked off the show, boys. Now this is probably going to be mostly notes from us sitting inside the stadium, and I did go back and watch the whole pay-per-view too. But so this crowd was a very pro Chelsea Green crowd.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
everybody wanted Chelsea to win this thing, man. People were popping for her big time, like every little small thing she did, and when she got eliminated, it was a big boo. B-Fab and Zoe Stark was the two that probably came out to no reaction. I feel like some people didn't know who they were.
Michin as well, or Michin.
Yeah.
Nothing. Silence.
Right. Like I said, Piper eliminating Chelsea was a fun spot. When Chelsea was getting beat up, we're all chanting Piper, like we're laughing, and so Piper, finally comes out and eliminates Chelsea in a little fun spot, but that got booed. It was accidental anyway. So Jordan Grace came out at number 19, which was great. That was super cool.
Yeah, it was.
Alexa got the biggest pop of the women that night at 21. How big was that one, man? It was probably
massive.
as big as Cena's, dude. I'm serious.
That was pop of the night. I don't think
might have been pop of the night.
Was close, but apart from that, that was huge. It was awesome. I was so excited.
Yeah, people are into it, man. It was a big deal. So Trish Stratus came out at 25, Charlotte at 27. Decent pops. Nia came out at 29, and I've never heard the most collective sigh in my life I've heard her when she came out. It was like
like the air just releasing out of
like everybody looking at it. And then Nikki Bella at 30, which all of us kind of forgot, but she got a pretty good reaction. The last two were Roxanne Perez and Charlotte. Obviously, Charlotte won. Roxanne ended up being the Iron Woman at 67 minutes. Nia broke a record with 8 eliminations. She eliminated 6 people at once. So that was wild.
Kind of, sort of.
Right. Kind of.
Yeah, they gave it to her, but she was touching maybe 2 of them. So, but whatever.
70-80%.
Why are there so many people in the ring? And then Nia does that.
Right. 70 or 80% of this match was outside the ring. But Primo, what were you looking at home during this match? What'd you see?
So a lot of stuff you mentioned just now. I mean, Alexa, the pop for Alexa was massive,
right?
And it translated well on TV. Me and my son had a hell of a time every countdown. To the point where we were annoying people in the house, but whatever. We were having fun, and even he was like, who's that? Because we didn't recognize the music, and we both, even if he doesn't watch the program religiously, we both own the most recent video game, so we should know every single one of these people. Anyway, I'm happy Charlotte won. I called it last pod, so obviously got a reigning champ still. But also, Nikki Bella, I was telling my son that right before she came. I was like, well, it's got to be one of these two people.
Yeah. We were thinking
because we knew at that point Nia had come out, and I knew she was due to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I thought overall it was cool. I remember texting my brother, telling him how freaking hilarious Chelsea is.
awesome.
She cracks me the hell up.
She's
so
the MVP,
much.
dude.
Oh,
she makes me
absolutely.
laugh
She's
so
MVP.
much.
I know.
No, but I really enjoyed it, and it turned out the way it should have happened. Everyone, so stop bitching.
Yeah. I agree. We'll talk about Raw too.
Everybody bow to the Queen and be quiet.
Just because I didn't like it, I don't think it's
right.
wrong. It's probably the correct thing to do. But
there was this little cat, couple 2-3 people down from me. It kept like chitter chatting about Charlotte. I didn't really pay too much attention to him, but he's on my podcast. And it's AJ. It looks Why you shit on my girl the whole time, man?
It was me.
It was me.
I don't know. I just am so bored with Charlotte. She's turning into Charlotte wins, lol, like that, and I don't want that. Like it's.
Right,
but I don't know. It's a boring pick to me. That's all. I mean, I get it. Again, it makes sense.
Sure.
But I was bored with it. I wanted someone else.
Yeah.
I wanted someone new. I mean, we got that in the men's, but I wanted Alexa. Really, that's all I wanted.
Yeah. Thoughts on the women's Rumble, Dylan?
Yeah. Basically, just echoing what's already been said. Chelsea had to be the MVP. Just
Absolutely.
Spot after spot after spot, just hilarious. Alexa probably got the biggest pop of the night. I mean, up there with the main event guys, maybe. Anytime I get to see Trish Stratus, it's cool. And probably seeing DB's reaction to Charlotte winning.
Yeah, can we
that
talk
might have
about
been
this?
the most excited I've ever seen somebody at a wrestling show.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it. So, how's she out? Like 14 months. Obviously, she's my favorite wrestler. Not just being a mark. I need to put it back out there. She's friends with my wife too. So, so I feel like I'm, obligated. But I'm a Flair guy through and through, man. Like I stick to my roots. She is, like when she wins, I win. That's the way I feel. So I got a little excited when she came back. What I look like, AJ?
That was pure, unadulterated happiness,
elation.
Yeah,
I'm glad that there was no one in front of you because you would have knocked them out because you punched the air, and then you were just gone.
It just came over.
You were gone. Like you like. The happiest I've ever seen you, and then whoop, right down the stairs. I was like, wait, where did he go? Like that's Like I pictured you like running around like the concourse, just excited and happy. So it was a good. I was happy for you.
Yeah, well, instead of standing there and pumping my fist and jumping in the air like I just bought a Toyota. Old people gets that, but
people get very excited about
I just thought I'd just run down the stairs and just take my momentum and just fire up, let a little woo out. I think I wooed in the hallway a couple times. A couple people give it back to me, and I was like, and I went to the bathroom. I came back,
solid wrestling fan moment.
Yeah, man,
it really was.
I don't care. Yeah, I jump in, man. When I'm in wrestling, I jump in.
I love it. I love it.
It was great.
I
was pumped.
I do got to say a couple things, 2 things actually. That's a couple. One of them is actually to shit on something that unintentionally, by the way, that Dylan had just said. I was going to say it before you said it, but you said you were first. I actually didn't like Trish Stratus being there.
Really?
Like, why do we need that?
Me too.
I don't need that.
I was thumbs downer too.
I don't need that. It really didn't add anything to it for me. But that was just one thing. Sorry, Dylan. Second thing, even though I did choose Charlotte to win, I'm not sure what was going on with her baggy britches.
Oh my God, Tori! We need to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Tori was so funny because she was like, why does Charlotte have pants on over her pants? And why are one of the pairs of pants falling down? Right. And then after that, that's all I could look at.
She had baggy britches on.
Yeah. It looks like the part where it curves under was a little too baggy.
She looked like an old man mowing the lawn. It was that's all I could see for the rest of the time. So thank you, Tori. It was fantastic.
And they didn't show it on camera, but she struggled with her robe. half the reason
Oh,
her
she
walk
did.
to
yeah.
the ring was so long.
She did.
Because
It was
she
stuck.
got stuck at the end trying
Oh.
to get her robe off. They didn't show it
Yeah.
on camera. They went back to the
I
match.
watched.
But that's why her walk was so long.
It was.
Where did she talk about that? Was it Raw?
In our heads between Dylan
Well,
and I, 'cause
she
we
talked
made
about it on
jokes.
Raw. I think is whenever she talked about it got stuck and she kind of had to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on, boys. So next one up was the tag team match: Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY. 2 out of 3 falls. I feel bad because there was a lot of people not in the stadium during this because the Rumble happened for like an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So, but they traded falls, of course. DIY gets the win after the Street Profits come in and attack the Motor City Machine Guns, and you know we got some heel Street Profits now, hard. So
Hell yeah!
But they attacked both of them. Like, were they heel? Because they attacked both teams. Which that's another thing. Everyone's like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody knew who they were.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they were black. They had all black clothing on, and their faces were covered until I think Dawkins took it off first.
Right.
2 things. Number one, I actually enjoyed. This was going to be my piss break match, even though I like both these teams, but I had to choose something. So anyway, I think I still did go take a leak, and it still came back by the first fall. But it was good. I actually enjoyed the match overall. I thought it was pretty awesome, except for, like I mentioned to you guys in the text thread, I've not been sold on the Machine Guns, Motor City Machine Guns theme.
You take it back.
Yeah,
that theme.
yeah,
It sucks.
I think they need something else too. Yeah,
Or do the
Just doesn't
opposite.
really fit them, really. Yeah.
I mean, I went to the bathroom during, and the Motor City Machine Guns are my favorite tag team of all time. But I was just like, yeah, I missed the first 2 falls.
I pointed to the screen. I was talking to my son. I said, "Look, we almost had him on the pod."
we did.
So close. So
yeah,
close.
I missed the first 2 falls of my favorite tag team of all time's
The first 2 of 3,
championship match. Yeah.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was fine. Like from where we were sitting, some of like the smaller detail stuff they were doing, I completely missed. Like I forget which fall it was, but DIY'd like a fake tag.
Yeah.
From where we were sitting, I completely missed that. I thought it was just a tag, and they just went on doing whatever and didn't notice it till the replay after the match. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. I kind of hate I missed that. But, you know, it was there. It was fine.
Right. All right, next up was KO versus Cody for the WWE Undisputed title in a ladder match. Both belts, the Winged Eagle belt and the Undisputed title, strapped high above the ring. The referee, y'all didn't see this. He had a hard time putting it on. It took him a while to get the belts on that bar or whatever that goes up into the air. But some quick notes, and then we'll let you guys talk about it. So inside, the crowd was 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
You really was.
Yeah.
It really was split down the middle. There was a lot of people going both ways for this. This match was fantastic. I love Cody going to another brutal side. Kevin Owens, God darn it, man. Is there anybody more designed for a ladder match than that dude? Like, I feel like he's like, that's probably going to be his legacy. Like, he's like the king of the ladder match. Like, that dude is that freaking good. And, the Canadian dream, son of a security systems technician.
That was a great t-shirt.
Man, that was phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Of course, Cody retained after Cody does Alabama Slam on KO through a ladder and finally climbs up and grabs both titles. But the way Kevin landed, man, I was like concerned for a sec because it kind of looked like he got his chin caught up under one of those steps on the ladder. But man, this match was amazing, boys. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
That is my thoughts. Number one, freaking loved it. The match. Didn't love the outcome, but you guys knew that already.
Yeah. Same.
So we knew it was going to happen anyway. Whatever. I digress. But I will say, was that Alabama Slam, that really vicious, malicious move, was that kind of heelish?
Yeah. There's all kinds of things kind of heelish that he did.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So
definitely tinkered on it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Was like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've been wanting to heel Cody. So, but that's
Yeah.
for me, that'd be cool.
Right.
But
I agree. I agree with that completely. And this is like for some reason this ladder match like felt a little more brutal than they.
oh,
than they
that was another
normally
question
do.
I had for you guys specifically. For me, it was awesome because I got to see everything from every angle that they showed me as a consumer right here on my
Right.
couch.
Yeah.
But how was it to you guys watching it?
Looked
above?
just as bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
from the upper deck, it was on the side that we were, like on the side of the ring, and it still sounded nasty from where we were,
Ooh.
like that ladder, breaking in half.
Wow.
Well, and then that other bump that KO took, when the ladder was like this on its side, and I think he got like power bombed on like the edge of it, and that one was nasty too. And it's like, oh my god, why is he doing this to himself?
And gave Cody the Buster in the ring.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Whew. But yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
and
it was
it's
brutal.
all thanks to KO. Like he's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, this match did what I think it needed to do. What'd you think, Dylan?
Yeah, I loved it. Just excited to see Kevin Owens in a ladder match in person.
In person,
That's being a fan of his Ring of Honor stuff, his PWG stuff, like knocking that one off the bucket list. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And man, that was brutal. The whatever he calls it, like spinning suplex deal out of the corner. That looked rough on the ladder.
Yeah.
The Alabama Slam, we've talked about it. It looked brutal. Great match. I have it on my list, with a way too early list of match of the years for 2025, but it's on that spot. So
we also
we'll
need
see.
to talk about the tiny ladder that made me laugh
Right.
hysterically.
Yeah.
It made me laugh how long they used it.
Yeah, I know. For
They did like
so
4
many spots.
with it.
Yeah, right.
I also like Professor Wrestler sitting next to me because the first ladder match was in 1991. I was invented by Terry. Shut the fuck up.
You had a statistician sitting next to you. You didn't know it.
Because he was a bit of everything.
Yeah. No, but this was awesome, man. Like, yeah, I thought this was good stuff, and we didn't really see too much come from that on Raw. Instead, we seen it go a different angle, but we'll talk about that later. So before we get to the men's Rebel, they showed the Godfather, Kurt Angle, Ron Simmons. All these people got big pops inside Lucas Oil. RVD, Rick Steiner. John Mellencamp was there, Indiana native. So they talked
Suck
to
on
him.
chili dog.
Yeah, right.
No one knew who John Mellencamp was,
except for me.
I mean, I knew
Sucking
who
on a
fuckers
chili
were
dog,
old.
man.
Like this
Thank
show
you.
was not booked for us, but
No, it wasn't.
And so no one knew who John Mellencamp was. Like no one.
The true Indiana people did, but there's from people from all different states and 48 countries, like they don't know who John Mellencamp is. You know what I mean? So, but Stephen Amell was there, Duffy Wrestling League. Heck yeah.
He's in the new suits.
Yeah. So then we got to the men's Rumble. By the way, RVD probably the biggest pop out of all the.
Well, yeah, because he has the thumbs.
Everybody got to play along. He's got to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
So men's Rumble. Let's get through the first part of it before we get to say the last 6. All right. So Rey Fenix and Penta are 1 and 2.
Rey Mysterio
and Penta. El Cerro Mero is first 2.
5 times.
So
where's that?
I know you guys have since looked at the replay. In that spot, Penta's feet definitely touched.
Oh yeah, they touched.
The right foot touched, the toes on the left definitely touched, but they just have to
care.
I didn't care either.
I mean, it's Penta's first Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
He's
man.
number 2 out.
Yeah,
I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
yeah. They were
so
going.
close.
They came out the gate going 110 miles an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's first ever PLE.
Right.
He's
I
gonna
give
be
him a
nervous.
pass.
For sure.
By the
So
way, that
1, 2.
5 was the Cerro Miedo.
So Chad Gable was 3, Carmelo Hayes 4, Santos Escobar was 5.
I gotta say, my brother called Chad Gable. He said, how funny would it be if Chad comes out number 3? And I said,
it was awesome.
how funny would it have been if Dom came out number 3, but then it ended up being Chad.
Yeah, I feel like this Rumble too was very storyline driven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just makes sense. Otis at 6, Braun Breaker at 7, and then this I Show Speed Kid came out at 8, and then Braun proceeded to just knock his head off. So that got a big pop, and then we got Roman at 16, Drew McIntyre 17, Jey Uso at 20, and AJ at 21.
You skipped over Finn and Shinsuke. How dare you?
I'm going over the points that matter in the Rumble.
Yeah,
so sorry, sir.
Really, this is
I owe
all
you
I'm
a
going to
couple
say about
jabs.
Shinsuke or Finn. It's very apparent to me. I love them so much. They are fucking jobbers. Both of them are jobbers. I love them to death. They will never go anywhere near a main event again.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
just
I'm
called
done.
mid-carders, right now.
Jobbers.
Mid-carders with a title is what Shinsuke is.
Yeah, true. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
That's all right. AJ got a big pop. Of course, Jey Uso did. Everybody was yeeting, right off the bat. So, so that was big. Let's see, what was that? So, 9 was Sheamus, 10 Jimmy Uso, 11 Andrade, 12 Jacob Fatu. And then we get to basically Cena, right? Okay, Cena at 23, and Punk comes at 24. Cena's pop. Dylan, talk to me about it.
Oh, that was awesome. Everybody's there because it's his last Rumble, and he took his time when he first came out of the entrant. One last time at the Rumble. Everybody's on their feet. That might have been the only person that the whole arena stood up for. That's what everybody was there for. Get that one last Cena video. That was sick. And then Punk coming out right after that stare down. Man, just chills. Whole arena just popping for it.
By the way, too, after Speed got his head taken off, Otis tossed him over the table.
Yeah.
And John Doe in the chat was talking about his leg getting the skin knocked off of it. That was nasty too. That happened somewhere after what happened with Otis, but yeah, that was nuts. But AJ, talk about Cena's pop, man. It's the biggest one of the biggest you've ever heard, probably, huh? I feel like it was.
Yeah, and like it was a very respect kind of respect. Fuck you, Cena. Because I mean, we all stood because we knew, and like he knew too. So I mean, you could tell that he was, what I really appreciated too is like he was playing to us. It's like in section 617.
Yeah,
sure.
Way the hell up in the back. Like he was playing to us. He was playing to everyone, which was fantastic. That's why Cena's Cena. But yeah, his pop was, I would say, third biggest of the night, number 3. But it was the most prolonged, certainly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was big. He stood there for a minute. Like, I remember telling myself, make sure I watch him, not the Jumbotron during this. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. It's easy to not. So I'm watching him. He's taking his time. And then after going back and watching the replay, it was cool. He got a little emotional there. So that was awesome, man. But one last time, it was super cool. So, let's see. We had okay, so Seth at 25, LA Knight at 29, and then another big collective sigh as we all forgot about fucking Logan Paul at 30 because I'm thinking Rock. I don't know what Dylan was thinking, but
I knew
Randy
I
or
still
something,
knew.
But yeah, so
he even announced it on like SmackDown or something.
Yeah,
Raw. It was on Raw, and he said he was gonna come out 30.
Right. So all right, so we get to the last 6, boys. It's Punk, Cena, Seth, Logan, Jay, and Roman. And so my best way to describe this is, so they all take super kicks, spears, stomps, all that stuff, and we end up circling back to Seth and Roman, which every time I see Seth Roman now, I think, oh yeah, here we go, Primo, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get back to this story.
Hell yeah.
Right. I knew you'd be pumped about it, man. So they brawl to the ropes. Punk eliminates them both. Logan then comes and dumps over Punk, and then they all brawl outside. Seth then curb stomps Roman twice, once on the steps on the outside, and then Punk and Paul Heyman has words as Punk's leaving ringside. So then Cena takes out Logan Paul, right? So the final 2 is Jay and Cena. I'm definitely thinking Cena. I'm not 99.9, 100%. This is Cena, right? So the whole place thinks Cena's winning too, is kind of what I think. Then Jay wins after, they struggle. They go to a FU attempt, and then he kind of just, falls off the FU and just kind of pushes him off. And Cena almost looks like he's like, of course he's going to look shocked that he just got eliminated, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It was just kind of weird. And, after it was just a little weird finish, I think, after all that, like kind of like excitement, he kind of think, kind of like pushed him off, like there wasn't no emphatic, kind of taking him out. But I think that maybe making this kind of look as a little bit like a mistake for John, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff, too. So Jay points at the sign, wins it. Cole says, goddamn on I don't know if y'all caught that or not, but he was like, you earned it. And he's like, goddamn right he did. I was like, whoa, dang, Cole. But Michael Cole called this an upset. So talk me through you guys on the finish, man, especially when it got down to like those last four. Primo, I want to know your feelings when Seth and Roman, went off. So, AJ, let's start with you.
So the last six, you have four like bona fide, you can just tell these guys are mega stars. They will carry any company at any time. Roman, right. Seth, Cena, and Punk. Like, they are leagues. And then you have Jey Uso, who has a fun chat that teenagers like. And Logan Paul, who is reviled. Not like heel, like you're supposed to get heat. No, he is hated. Everything that he did in the ring, and like, should have gone to Dom. Dom should have done everything that Logan Paul did. I get that Dom isn't as athletic as Logan Paul, but whatever. All that heat should have gone to Dom. Fuck you, Logan Paul, and fuck everything you stand for. So when the brawl outside between Seth, Punk, and Roman, I've never wanted a match more. Like the triple threat that they're saying is going to happen. Yes, please. Like, let that end night 2 at Mania. Fantastic. And then, so Jey Uso winning, that all of us were shocked. And after I thought about it, it's like, he's not a good worker. He's not great. He's not bad. He's not great. He's not a good talker. Again, not bad, not great. He has a chant that teenagers like. And not even teenagers like now. Teenagers from 5 years ago liked. So I do not get it. Like, when you put him next to Seth and Roman and Punk and Cena, he doesn't belong. He just doesn't. I get that he's popular now. Mm-hmm. It's like the same if you put LA Knight next to those guys. They don't belong in that tier, and now he's trying to be placed in that tier, and it makes no sense to me. But it's, again, like, I'm with Charlotte. Like, I get it, I guess. I don't like it, but whatever.
All right, AJ, so I'm going to ask you the question. Yeet or no yeet?
No yeet. No.
Dylan, talk to me about the finish, man. What'd you like?
Okay, so that last six, I was just convinced Punk was going to win, and I wanted Punk to win.
Yeah.
Same.
Punk's my guy, and we paid for the ticket, so I wanted Punk to win while we were there. You know what I mean? So when he tosses out Roman and Seth, I'm like, okay, here we go, one step closer. And then he immediately gets tossed out by Logan, and I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, what now? Where are we going now? And one of my favorite parts, you didn't notice if you're watching on TV, while they're brawling on the outside, Cena and Jay and Logan are just laying in the ring like they've wrestled with 2 hour Broadway. Can't move at all.
Yeah.
Even though Logan just tossed Punk out of the ring, no problem. He's laying there like he's exhausted, selling, of course.
He's dead.
So then Logan gets tossed out. I'm like, okay, we dodged that one. If we had went to a Rumble and Brock won the first time, then we go to a second time and Logan Paul wins, I think I would have just been done going to Rumbles.
Yeah.
So Logan gets tossed out, or down to Cena and Jay. Now I'm just thinking, okay, I get to see Cena win his last Rumble. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And you described the finish. He gets pushed off the apron and Jay wins. And I was surprised at first because I wanted Punk to win. I didn't really care for it in the moment. But a couple of days removed, after seeing the reaction he got, after seeing how many people in Indy had on the Yeet shirt, after seeing his reaction on Monday on Raw, that was incredible. I've came around on it now. He's had enough matches with Gunther where he's came up just short, whether it's the IC title or the King of the Ring or the world title match a couple weeks ago, that I'm assuming they go Gunther and Jay at Mania. I'm excited to check it out. In the moment, didn't love it, but after thinking about it, I came around on it.
Primo, talk to me, man. How'd you feel when Seth and Roman faced off?
So, I actually made a comment on Reddit about this earlier in the week. Every time we get a Seth and Roman face off over the last 5 or so years, ever since the Shield broke up, really, it's for the past 4-ish years, Roman has been at such a high level, but as soon as he gets face to face with Seth, they argue like brothers, like they should, and they're immediately, in my eyes, on equal playing field.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like, they're always going to be brothers in my eyes. The Shield run was crazy. I miss it. I love it.
Sure.
It's in all of us, on all of our hearts. It's going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I was hyped. I knew they were playing it whenever they didn't immediately, go after each other. But once they did they did that thing where Seth, after they took everybody out, and then they had the camera pan directly on Seth's face, and Roman's back here. I was like, oh hell yeah!
Yep, I know,
like you
right?
got me.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I love it. But also, let's look at this playing field again. CM Punk, Seth, Roman, Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jay. So now, as soon as those first 3 went out, obviously I'm thinking, oh damn, triple threat at Mania. And the next thing I'm thinking is, oh well, Logan Paul's not going to win, so it's got to be between Jay and Cena.
Right.
And sorry there, Wrestling Land, I actually didn't want John Cena to win. I love him, but I was very hyped to see Jay win. Me and my son were over on the couch going absolutely bonkers when Jay won. And they did make it look like a misstep on John's part. No, I had a fantastic time watching the men's match. The only thing that didn't happen throughout the whole Royal Rumble that I thought was going to happen was Randy Orton coming back. Oh, another thing that didn't happen, just backing up real quick to the ladder match, when Sammy is tending to Kevin, I was like, is he going to get in there and stop Cody from getting the belt? Or is he going to watch him?
Watch him.
So yeah, he watched him. Anyway, but no, I digress. I know I really enjoyed the men's Royal Rumble to the point that yeah, yeet.
What about you, Dylan? Yeet or no yeet?
Yeet.
Ah, come on, you
hell
people.
Yeah.
So at the time when I was there at the show, I did want Cena to win, especially when it got down to them the last 2. No, I'm not a Jey Uso fan, but like, at the time I was, kind of like, all right. But, after I got back, I was kind of thinking about it. Me and Dylan talked about it on the way home a lot, that kind of stuff. Here's a guy that came up in the tag division, had a hell of a storyline. He's part of probably the biggest storyline saga over the last decade with the Bloodline. He's had this big underdog story. He had the yeet, he lost it, and he got it back. Now it's over, as big as hell. He's he's that genre that the like AJ said, that the young kids and stuff are a part of, and that kind of stuff. And he has storylines with with, I guess, either way he goes with Cody or, Gunther or whatever, and still trying to climb that mountain, but like, I can see something happening like what happened with Cody, like with him losing the first time, and then, or losing again. And then we circle back to it. I mean, it's still a great story. Yes, they can still do Cena. Props to Cena, because, if Cena said, I want to win this one, I want to go out, they would have probably let him win it. So so shout out to him or whatever. So before we smelly mark it, boys, let's talk about Raw last night. We had, or not last night, but a couple nights ago, we had KO attacking Sammy.
Sure.
That was nuts.
Expected, but nuts.
Yeah, they're going to get that WrestleMania match. Charlotte trying to be a face? No.
Hell no.
What was this about?
I think she had a plan, or everybody else. They had a plan backstage, and
It went off the rails real fast.
Man said, "Nah," and Charlotte said, "You know what? I'm better at this. I'm better at
Cleveland had other ideas. Nope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. What else happened on Raw? Obviously Jay come out and talked. Gunther came out, got in his face. But neither him, nor Charlotte has committed to anything yet, about who they're going to wrestle. Rhea came out and approached Charlotte, but this was a decent Raw after Netflix. Not a whole lot happened, but with the KO Sammy thing, that's when you're like, like they thought you were going to go one way and they went another.
So, so I want to say that number one, as far as my me wanting Jay to win or being so happy that he won, it probably helps that I watched that "Which One Are You" promo like 20 times last week.
Okay.
But on top of that, no, Raw was great. Jay's ovation, the fact that the fans called for an encore oh my gosh. And then that whole moment was cool. He struggled to get the words out, with a tear in his eye. I messaged my brother about this once I saw it. Kevin Owens attacking Sammy. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen this Monday. I was like, Kevin, go heel, man.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm not upset about Jay. I'm just, it just doesn't appeal to me. So just to keep things level, no Yeet.
Hey, yo.
Let's smelly mark it, boys. 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Dylan, how was this show to you? Rank it.
I think being there makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, so I can't give it a 10, but I'll go with a 9. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty up there. I'll go a 9 out of 10.
AJ.
So I don't want to make some sort of comparison bias because the St. Louis one was, and even though I didn't like the women's winner, even though I didn't like the men's winner, and even though I missed 2 out of the 3 falls of the tag match, it's a solid 9. Yeah. It was a blast. And even we were bitching about certain aspects, but fantastic. It's fantastic.
Primo, you were at home watching it. What's your smelly mark?
My fan viewing experience from the couch was great. My ice bucket was filled for my leg. I had my wedge pillow. No, for real though, I had a great time. Me and my son, literally all 60 participants were counting down top of our lungs all 10 seconds. Like we were having a hell of a time. We had fun. AJ Styles returned. That was my exciting part. Like I loved that.
Yeah.
Like I remember texting you guys. I didn't figure you guys would answer. DB answered, surprised by my surprise. But no, I got to give it a solid 9.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna stick the average to you. I think it was a solid 9 too. Like if Cena had won, I don't see how it couldn't have been more perfect unless Jay White signs with WWE and wins the Rumble. That's the only way I'd be happy. But it was perfectly. But nah, man, Lucas Oil, super cool. I can't wait to see what SummerSlam and Mania is going to be like there.
Yeah,
super cool host city. It was easy to get around. Like I said, it was a top notch, great experience, man, and that place was amazing. So. Looking forward to going back. So, all right, Primo, if you're ready to go home, man, that's enough Rumble talk, man. Let's take her home.
Looking for all the latest happenings in the world of sports and wrestling? Well, you're in luck because SportsWire Radio has you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. With great shows in the world of sports, such as the Pinstripe Chronicles, hosted by Uncle Tats, Donald Stewart, and Rob Barrows. New York Baseball Talk with Chris Bazaya and Rob Maraska. The Liftoff Jets, also hosted by Chris Bazaya and Sharman Phillip. Neil Villapiano and the Devil's State of Mind. Randy Dillon's Hockey Fan Chat. In the world of wrestling, SportsWire Radio has you covered with Squared Circle Radio, featuring Chris Belcher, Andy York, and Jared Justice. Those sit-down marks with DB, Primo, AJ, and Michael. A work in progress, featuring the Mayor of Canton, Piles, and Glenn Abbott. You can catch all of these great shows and more anytime, anywhere, and any place via the Listen Live button on sportswireradio.org, and you can also catch Sportswire Radio anytime on YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579 to catch all the latest happenings in the world of wrestling. Sportswire Radio has you covered. It's all sports matters and all wrestling matters here on Sportswire Radio. I am your host, the owner of Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station, the owner of the Promo Wrestling Federation, and one of the owners of the Pride Wrestling Federation, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce.
Thank you, everyone listening on sportswireradio.org. And I want to thank everybody listening on Spotify, Apple, and all those podcast platforms out there. And thank you, everybody, for watching, checking us out tonight on Facebook and YouTube. I want to remind everybody to go follow at Sit Down Marks on all those social media out there, and just go check us out. Give us a follow. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, jump on over and subscribe to us if you don't mind. We'd sure appreciate it. I want to remind you, if you want to advertise with us, if you got a product or a service you want to get over, man, just give me a shout at dbonthemic@yahoo.com or on any of our socials. We'd love to partner up with you and get your product or service out there to the Sit Down Marks fans. All right, Dylan, big weekend, brother. It is Dreamwave time. Tell me what you're excited for this weekend, brother, and tell everybody where they can go read that full preview you got going on this weekend.
Yeah, so easy answer. I'm excited for everything. We could just leave it at that. Somehow,
Sure.
like every Dreamwave show seems like the biggest Dreamwave show ever. I don't know how Jay does it. That alternative title match, Marcus Mathers defending against Gringo Loco, Myron Reed, and Quintero. That is going to be bonkers. Going to be such a fast pace all over the place. Cannot wait for that. Little change to the card. We finally get blow off between Maggie Lee and Brittany Brooks for the women's title. Excited to see them go at it again. My guys, the new guys, challenging for tag titles against the Hype. Can't wait to see that one go down. And like you mentioned, DB, my indie preview this week, I did a full Dreamwave breakdown that's available. Easiest way is on my Twitter at DHagerJ15. It's pinned to the top there. Or you can check out Dreamwave's Facebook page or Twitter page. They shared it also. You can scroll through there and find it there.
Yeah, so it's Dreamwave, Famous Last Words. It is sold out in LaSalle, Illinois at the KC Club. It is going to be on IWTV at 7 Eastern Time, 6 Central. That's Independent Wrestling. .TV Saturday night. Main event, dog collar match. Christian Rose versus Connor Hopkins. The feud continues, man. These guys, Connor's attacking Christian at other promotions and that kind of stuff. So just the feud just has an end, man. We'll see what happens this weekend. But yeah, big matches this weekend, and big card. Bruce Hamilton is on the card this weekend. We're going to be talking to him next week on the podcast. So we'll be talking about his match versus Jay Fowler. So big weekend coming up, man. And just a little prerequisite. This is going to be a big show, because the show after this is the 10-year anniversary show of Dreamwave. So lots of big things are happening, lots of surprises on the way, and lots of announcements coming up. So hang tight. I want to thank Card Subject to Change podcast for having me on their Royal Rumble preview show. CZ and Nick, thanks for having me on. Check those guys out. So what's coming up next on the podcast? Well, next week you heard me talk about Bruce Hamilton. I'm going to be sitting down with him talking about his wrestling career so far. If you don't know anything about him, he's a recent Black and Brave graduate over the last, I think, year or two. This guy's in high demand on the independent scene. He's got a look like nobody else. He's a former strongman competition, world strongman competition winner. So lots to talk about here with him, man. So check out my interview with him coming up next week's. And then after that, we got a podcast called Big Two, Then Who. That podcast is going to be talking about all the promotions, the bigger promotions outside of WWE and AEW. So we'll be talking about MLW, ROH, NWA, and what's going on in those promotions right now. Who are the big stars? Who are the champions? What are the big storylines? So, yeah, so it's going to be that was going to be good coming up. So also, yeah, I'm going to be at a Dreamwave this weekend. I'm going to have some podcast stuff there. So come on by, say hello, get some free podcast merch. And if you're not able to, come check out the stream. And we'll be talking about Dreamwave, the results, and thoughts on that show coming up in 2 weeks on episode number 148. So, all right, boys. That was a lot to cover there, man. So overall, man, pretty awesome weekend for wrestling, wouldn't you say?
Yep. Also, Primo, I'm sorry that you weren't there with us. However, you were in my heart because every time someone casually ran to the ring, in my head I would say, "Well, he's running to the ring at regular speed," and then I would giggle to myself. So you were there in spirit with us.
Yes. Oh, very good.
At regular speed. Yep. Funniest thing you've ever said.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, good stuff, man. We're on the road to WrestleMania now. We'll see what's
we'll see. I was just gonna say we'll see where they go after Saudi Arabia, and maybe we'll catch another Rumble together.
Yep. Primo just got his first Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. You want to tell about anybody who's on the front of it this time? I haven't gotten mine yet. I think you East Coast guys probably get yours first, but I think they had like Mariah May, I think was on the front.
The women winners from last Tony Storm, Liv Morgan, and Mariah.
Nice. All right, well, that's going to do it for us, Marks. For AJ, Dylan, Primo, and myself, I want to thank everybody for watching on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you guys next week, and thank you for listening on Audible, Spotify, Apple. Tell a friend about us, man. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. So for, like I said, AJ, Dylan, and Primo, I've already said that, so we'll just keep going here. We are top guys, motherfuckers, and we are out. All right. I wasn't going to say it, but the Easter egg segment, if anybody's stuck in, they'll say it. So me and Dylan are looking at this line, and I look at Dylan and I go, dude, I'm not fucking standing in this line. Like, there's no way I'm doing it. I got a plan. He goes, all right. I go, look at your phone. Just stand with me. Just act like, So I pulled my phone out and I started looking at it. So there was a security guard that was standing close to the line as they were, going by. So we just kind of blended in with the line. And then as I got to the security guard, I pulled over and talked to the security guard and asked her a dumb question about, I don't know. I don't even remember what I asked her. Something, what time does this place close? I don't know, Where can you get a good martini around here? No, but so after that, I just, we blended in line, and we probably cut about half of that line out. To be quite honest,
you
I think half is generous. We were probably 3/4, but oh well.
Dylan,
hell yeah,
man! Don't shoot on him, brother. We got to work.
Hey, make me proud. That's great.
Dude, I was just like, man, this is bad.
I always heard if you got a high vis vest and a clipboard, you go anywhere.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, the plan works. I'm sorry if anybody listened to that. I don't use the line cutters, but. Shit, man.
You ain't trying.
Man, I know. It worked, though. So, thanks for going with me, Dylan. I hope no bad karma comes back on you. All right, let's get out of here.